Welcome back, welcome back. Sound the horns, my daddy in the building. So I'm thinking to myself, and I'm thinking about men, or even particularly women too. Can't leave yous out. Sound the horns. We all seem to do similar things, especially when it comes to relationships and being in a bad relationship. Now, what I want to speak about is when a man is not on top of his game, right? Jealousy is literally the beginning of the downfall of your relationship. I've seen it many times. I've actually done it myself. So, when you can talk from experience, that the little mental games and excuses you can give to other people, you can't give to somebody that used to be that and be blinded by knowledge and love. See, other people just call you an asshole, lazy ass motherfucker, a fucking no good charlatan. Some of you are. It's because you don't know any better. If you knew better, you would do better, And sometimes you gotta sacrifice. See, me, when I was that guy, and I knew I actually love this person, not just that I love what they do for me, No, I love this person enough to really want to see them happy. And I ain't it. You get it? I fight, I pick, I fucking yell, I scream, I'm fucking breaking shit. Twisting the narrative and shit. Because they're telling you to do responsible shit you're supposed to do. You're supposed to already have that shit organized in your mind. But you ain't have no parents. So organization is really not your best, until you work on it. And realize you don't really need parents. You don't need a coach. You don't need any of that. You're just not going to be organized and efficient maybe as other people because they got help. But if you use that anger, that fear, and that jealousy of another man coming in and taking what's yours, when it's really not, because no man can take a woman from you. She willingly goes to him, Doesn't matter how it happens. It happens. Now, I realized if men could only turn that same energy, if they only used all that scheming in Jedi Sith Lord to make her believe you're going to try harder when you're not, if you used all that power, you're not realizing that's power. It takes effort to convince a woman for years. That takes effort. You're like fucking Charles Xavier. You're in her mind, nigga. And you're wasting that ability. You have the ability to actually be in someone's head. Convince them of the wrong thing. So that means you have the power to convince people, make them believe in you. That's a good thing, There's nothing wrong with that. But if you actually put the work in, just a little bit of work, and tried your hardest, failed a bunch of times until you get right, because that's the natural way of every regular ass man that doesn't have all those things, help, little handouts, whatever. You gotta fail a lot, And a lot of men be forgetting you're lucky that you're failing with a woman. In your failure, you have a woman taking care of you, Niggas get tough and start barking orders about women roles and house roles. Listen, dog, you at home, you better do something with that shit. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of men, even myself, with the pride of men don't do these things, not realizing if you lived on your own, you would do all of those things. So how don't men do those things? Men don't wash dishes. Yeah, the fuck they do. What you talking about, Willis? Live alone for a little bit. You'll find out how much of the shit that you would just do anyway because no one's there. You would do it because no one's there. You know? It's so weird how I've watched many of men do this, like get caught up into this game of how long can I procrastinate, I guess, or feel sorry for myself, or be afraid to tackle life head on exactly where I'm at and just say, all right, I'm on the bottom. You know what I'm saying? No matter what I think in my fucking head, no matter how much I suit myself up, no matter how much this woman looks at me, I'm still where I'm at. I gotta build from this and have the dignity and pride to say, well, I'm not the first and I won't be the last, so why am I gonna feel so shameful? That's what it is. I really believe a lot of men mistreat their woman because they feel shame already. You know? You already know what it is. You know what it is. Because all men want to be, well, not maybe all men, but most men want to be good men. So there's no way you don't know the good side of yourself. There's no way the fact that you can't do things, and when you see other men do things with their wife or with a girl or whatever, or she talks about it, it gets you angry, and you don't want her to be around those things so she don't get no ideas about how you supposed to be doing those things. Nigga, she don't need those people. She don't need to see that shit. So she, you know what I mean? All people have a certain way they want to be treated nice, so she ain't need to see somebody else to start thinking that she needs to be, treated right. Thought about, you know? And I get it, fellas, they beat us down with the truth. It's just not as truthful as we believe, All women care about is money and all that, blah, 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 blah. I mean, there's a lot. Just like there's a lot of men that don't really care about relationships and only want to use women, So we can't act like it's not true, But we can't act like, most people are doing these things because they think they're getting over, and then they get older and realize I wasted all my fucking life doing nothing. I've wasted so much time pretending, because for some of us, survival out here. If you don't fucking get that girl to love you, you're gonna be out here on these streets. And you know what happens once you're out here. You lose your ID, you get with the wrong crowd, or people look at you funny, it's harder to get up. It's not impossible though. But nobody wants to face that, not even myself. And then something hits you one day, it hit me a long time ago. Besides just love of the person and wanting to see them be with somebody else that could treat them better. Because once you ruin your relationship and a woman sees the dynamic change of, you don't run shit around here, nigga. You just live here. If I stop going to work, you stop eating. Once they get that in their head, like, wait up, you're going to stop talking crazy to me because I'll literally stop putting food in the house and I'll show you what the fuck this really, I'm God to you. Your little favorite treat, your cigarettes, I give that to you. I'm God to you. And you got the fucking nerve to put your hands on God? Oh, because it's in its weaker form? You're beating up God, right? You're talking to God like that, right? But nah, I don't know what I'm talking about. The Bible just says he dwells within all of us, And the ones that, go to him, then you're really directly talking to the Lord. You know? We're all his children. And that's why he forgives us. Because we're children. Knowledge is what makes you a grown person. Experience makes you wise. Anyway, for the man that's trapped in your shadow, in your ego, or whatever the fuck it is, you could do better. Don't take all this as this guy wants to talk shit about. No, I literally used to be that angry ass man. You can't go nowhere. I'm scared. We don't say it like that, but I don't want you out with I don't want you out there. You scared, nigga. You scared. You know she meets one regular guy that actually cares like you used to, because she's not a gold digger. So you got. The more she's a good regular woman, the worse it makes for an average man, because we're like, damn, shit, I ain't got to worry about, the rich super alphas. My girl ain't going after that. She knows that's not where she ain't be for that. But there sure are a lot of regular guys out here, so that's more competition. And God forbid she gets the money bug in her and says, I want some guys with money now, or blah, 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 you know. You don't want to push that away. A lot of men push a lot of good women to the dark side, and it doesn't work out for anybody, Sound the horns, my daddy's in the building. So on the reverse level, for the women that are doing this to men, not realizing, yeah, you do love them, but you don't own anybody. And the more you try to own this person, the more you cage them, you take their shine away, Then you're mad about, why ain't you so happy like you used to be? 'Cause you, motherfucker. Before they met you, they was allowed to go outside. They was allowed to go see their friends, see new things, learn new things. And then they used to come back and tell you about it. And they used to have stories. And you used to love them so much, you would listen to those stories. And it would be like something to do. But, you keep it caged up. You keep him caged up so long, you're like, you're boring now. Well, that's what you created. And you're mad. You're mad. Because you can't find trust in your heart. You can't put the pieces together that she's been tolerating your shit for this long with your shenanigan show, Instead of just saying, let me just cut this shit out. Let me find out why I act like this. Maybe it has something to do with my past. Maybe it has to do with, you only seen women cheat on men or something. Your mom was a cheater, your dad was a cheater, and now you're traumatized, Could be certain things like that. A lot of people really only see the bad things in life, but, the same bad things that's happening to you, the opposite is happening to someone else. So no one can say the world is all bad. All men are bad. All women are bad. No. You, unfortunately, we're picking the wrong ones. Or we're needing to have these encounters to grow and learn from our mistakes. A lot of men get trapped into this, I see. And, the tighter the hold and the longer you do it, eventually when they break free, it never ends well for you. They're going to keep working, they're going to keep trying to do their thing, you're going to keep trying to sabotage shit, not realizing if you sabotage them, you're sabotaged, And when things end up splitting apart, you're going to look back at all the time you wasted trying to rule over this person and all that energy you put into it and all that effort. And then all you have to do is think of, if I were to put half of that energy and that effort towards a regular job like she wanted me to, I could have been working somewhere and using my manipulation powers on my boss to let me be a lazy-ass fucking worker. And I would have been away from my girl a couple of hours a day, so I would actually miss her. She'd actually be away from me for a little bit, so she'd actually miss me. And then since I'm doing things, I could, amplify that with sex and say, look how manly I am. I went to work for you, and let me give you some of this sugar. You know what I mean? Everybody's so hurt. And I get it, you know. Ain't really too many teachers out here when it comes to emotional and psychological things that we go through. You know, people just say the answers and say things, don't realize, like, nah, this ain't no just quick say, this ain't no quick fix, bro. This ain't no flat tire, baby. This surgery. It's just spiritual and mental surgery. And you the only doctor that's gonna help you. Other people can't help you change your heart. Other people can't make you forgive. They only can bring you to the water. You gotta drink it. All love, all praise to the Most High.